Hello fellow astrologers, welcome back to the next video in our Astrology Keyring Fundamental series. In this video we're going to talk about what is the fixed modality. We're going to go over what the signs are, the houses and the planets, a little bit about how the keyring shows how they interact and the list down here. Then we're going to go over some of these keywords about what fixed signs are. Fixed signs occur in the middle of each season, bringing stability, persistence, and strength of will. These signs are the builders, preservers, and finishers of the zodiac. They resist change, not out of fear, but from a strong sense of loyalty and focus. Once committed, fixed signs dig in and follow through, often seeing things through where others quit. They're dependable, consistent, and deeply rooted. But that same steadiness can sometimes turn into stubbornness or resistance to growth. Fixed signs strive in environments that need endurance, dedication, and long-term results. So, like in all our videos, we like talking about our links a little bit. If you look right here, it says the what is the fixed modality link. This link will take you to the Google search, which will show you what Google has to say about fixed signs. We also have these other links down here to all the other things going on. You have right here all the things that have words on them will give you Google searches, and all the letter numbered things will give you actual links to the videos that talk about each one of those subjects. So anytime you want to go down one of those rabbit holes and cut right to the trace, just click right on any one of them. Let's talk about all the fixed signs. The fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. The fixed houses are the second house, the fifth house, the eighth house, and the 11th house. The fixed planets are Venus, the Sun, Pluto, and Uranus. Now remember, Venus is shared over here with Virgo, and the Sun is a luminary, but we'll talk more about that in the D section. We discuss more about planets, luminaries, and points of interest. Now let's look at how they all connect on the keyring here. It starts out here at the second house with Taurus and Venus, which it shares with Libra. Over here in the fifth house, you have Leo, and it rules the Sun. You have Scorpio in the eighth house, and it rules Pluto. Once upon a time, it was part of Mars. Again, we'll talk about that in the planets. Over here, we have Aquarius in the 11th house, and its ruler is Uranus. Once upon a time, it was connected to Saturn. Again, we'll talk about that in planets. But as you can see, it shows the middle parts, like it's in the middle part of the seasons, like all the fixed signs. If you look right here, all the fixed signs, we have them highlighted here. You can see it says fix, 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 fix. You can see how they all connect linearly. It has the same information here, different method of learning and retaining this information. So, let's go ahead and move on to what Google has to say. Fixed signs in Western astrology. The four fixed signs in Western astrology are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. As the middle signs of each zodiac season, they are known for their strengths, determination, reliability, and ability to focus on and complete projects. Fixed signs provide stability and are often seen as the anchors of the zodiac, though this consistency can manifest as stubbornness or inflexibility at times. Well, that's very true about fixed signs. This is a pretty good paragraph they have here. And they have some other good details here. You can go through the deeper dive if you want with AI. And remember, every time you click on these links, Google has something a little bit different, so it probably won't be what you see here because they're always updating the AI. So let's go down and see what some of these other sites have to say. We'll go to BedThreads. They've been pretty good. We've been through some of these other ones on the modality. Let's go scroll down here to the fixed signs. If the cardinal signs are the ones who kick everything off, the fixed signs follow these plans through with their eye fixed on the prize. Known as the doers of the zodiac, they're hardworking and are great at carrying out plans manifested by the cardinal signs. They love creating to-do lists, are trustworthy when it comes to acting plans, thrive off of momentum, and they're focused on dedication. Since they're the stabilizers of the modalities, it's no surprise fixed signs fall in the middle of every season. That's a pretty good little description. I like their quick and short little paragraphs. Let's move on. Now, Elle, it's a fashion magazine. I tend not to read fashion magazines because it's not quite my style, but you may want to look at them yourself. I'm not saying they don't have good information. It's not the delivery I tend to care for. So let's look at tiny rituals. They have some fun stuff usually in the tiny rituals. Fixed signs, astrology, unveiling, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Let's scroll down. From the bull-headed Taurus to the unwavering confidence of a Leo, the determined swing of a Scorpio, and the independence of an Aquarius. These four zodiac signs are the hallmark of fixed energy in astrology. Let's see. In the zodiac, each astrological sign falls under one of these three categories: the fixed signs, the cardinal signs, or the mutable signs. So they're telling us more about what they're doing. Let's skip ahead a little bit forward to where we're talking about understanding the roles of fixed signs. The other one's telling all the quadruplicities. We've already kind of been over it. So let's read this one. Fixed signs in astrology are stabilizers of the zodiac and are known for their ability to sustain and preserve. These astrological signs show up in the midst of each season. Taurus is in the middle of spring, Leo is in the height of summer, Scorpio in the passage of fall, and Aquarius makes the shift in winter. There are also the elements that play through the four astrological signs, each representing one of the following: air signs, water signs, fire signs, and earth signs. It makes sense to have these fixed zodiac signs show up at the height of a season, as it can be the time when we need an extra burst of momentum, energy, courage, or drive to propel us forward. Each of the fixed signs shares similar traits despite being different. The driving forces are hardworking, dedicated, stamina, and deep loyalty. They can be depended on and are ever compelling as they exude charm, comfort, a charismatic personality, and a sense of commitment that is hard matched by any other signs. Cool. Now that was a pretty good paragraph. Looks like they go into more bits and details about all the different ones in here, and that could be a cool deeper dive. But let's back that up and go back. These are some good little paragraphs and some information on what are fixed signs, but let's go back and go over these traits. All right. Now, like we said, the seasons peak. The fixed signs are the middle point of every season. Like right here was the beginning. The middle point was Taurus. Gemini will end it. Again, right here, Leo's the middle of summer. You see the beginning, the middle, and it'll end it over here. It goes the same way all the way around. Seasons peak. The mid-spring is Taurus. The midsummer is Leo. The mid-fall is Scorpio. And the midwinter is Aquarius. So it shows you right there where they fall in the seasons. Now let's talk about the keywords. I like adding in keywords that show some general keywords, positive and negative, because it's good to have a balanced idea of what anything means. So let's go over some of those. General traits: stability, endurance, loyalty, determination, consistency, deep focus. Positive traits: reliable, strong-willed, dedicated, trustworthy, persistent, and grounded. Negative traits: stubborn, rigid, resistant to change, possessive, inflexible, and obsessive. So these give you a good idea of what some keywords are for fixed signs. Again, later on, we may bring up somebody like Aquarius and mention that they're stubborn or that they have strong endurance or stuff like that that pertains to what their element is. And that's part of what shades that particular sign, but they will always share some of these key traits. So they'll cross-reference back into some of those signs later on. Well, that pretty much sums up what is the fixed sign modality. In the next video, B3, we're going to go over all the mutable signs, which is this cyan square right here. We're going to talk about all the signs, houses, and planets of the mutable signs. We hope you have enjoyed this video from our Astrology Keyring series. If you like the content, please like, follow, and share with your friends. Thank you for watching and have a blessed journey.